Welcome to a powerful segment of Bridging the Gap, the show where dialogue meets reality. Of course, my name is Cassie Tony, and I'll be taking you through this wonderful segment. So, I was having a conversation with my friend that was last month, and then she brought up a topic which I want to share with you guys so that you can bring up your own opinion and share your comments on the comment section how you feel about it. So she works in a firm, a very big and firm. So she said that this company were to hire two individuals, and these two individuals, they have a very good qualification. They are qualified for the job. They have the qualities that they needed. Everything, their CV, their certificate, everything was top notch. But something happened. You want to know what that is? Well, I'm going to tell you because that's why I'm here to tell you this story. So these two people, it was time for the interview. Of course, when you submit your CV at an organization, the next thing that comes is an interview. This one, it wasn't an online interview, it was a visual interview where you have to go to the office. So they went. Both of them, remember, they are very much qualified for this job. Well, they needed one person, but for the fact that they were both qualified for the job, they were considering hiring two of them. But of course, you know how it is. The other person had to disqualify herself. So when they got to the office, the other person appeared very corporate. She appeared decent. She dressed so well. She appeared so like when you see her, you know that statement they say you are addressed by the way you dress. Yes, when you see her, of course, you know how to address her. While the other person appears so casually. When I mean casually, you know how it is. You're going for an interview and you're dressed like you're going to you're going outing, you're going for a dinner or lunch date. When she got there, you know who got the attraction? The one that was decently dressed. She got attention. It wasn't time for interview yet, but she was getting compliments. Oh, you look pretty. She was the center of the attraction for the day. While the other person literally had to beg for attention. You know when people are just looking at it like, what is this? Who is this one? That was how it was for this lady. And that's what brings me to this topic, which when this my friend actually narrated this thing, she then asked me, Cassie, why do people use your appearance, the way you dress, to judge you without actually looking inward? She said, don't judge a book by the cover. But sometimes you can actually judge a book by the cover without you having to read the content of the book. You can judge the book by the cover. If you see a book lying casually, you may decide to read it based on the name on the book. You can decide to read it and you can decide not to read it. If it looks attractive, you can read it. But if it doesn't look attractive, you just wave it off. So she asked me, why do people always judge people based on the way they dress? And that's why I'm bringing this question up to you, because I gave her my own response based on my own level, but I want to hear more from you. So how does the way we dress influence the respect that we get from people and the respect that we give to ourselves? How does the way we dress influence the respect that we give to ourselves and the respect that we expect from people? I'm not just here alone to talk about this. I have with me in the studio King Sojalo. Welcome back to the show.
Cassie, thank you so much. In fact, this particular subject matter, this topic, in fact, is really booming my head. And I can't wait to dig deep, honestly speaking.
Okay, you can't wait to dig deep. You've heard it from him. He said he can't wait to dig deep. So, talking about the way we dress, respect. The way you dress commands respect.
Yeah.
It's either I want to respect you or I don't want to respect you. And a lot of people saying the way I dress doesn't really matter. It is the heart that matters. No. Even if the heart matters, but the way you dress also matters as well. So I want you to tell us, how does the way we dress influence the respect that we give to ourselves and the respect that we expect people to give to us?
Well, looking at this aspect of dressing, coding, the way people put it nowadays, it's a means in which, just as the popular saying, that you are are dressed the way you are dressed. But in this era we are, you see, it's in the other way around. And fashion has come to stay in our society today. Initially, those days, fashion um, was taken to the spotlight, whereby people advertise their products, dress, attire, and thereabout. But now it has been enforced to the society, most especially used by our females. You understand? So they've taken it to another level in which they classify it as a means of being appearing, outwardly. Now, looking at the indecent dressing, you understand? Now, it's not just applicable to only women, for both the male,
even the men too.
Exactly. And if you look at it, the way the men too gavas it, to be in another level.
They call it Gen Z.
The Gen Z generation.
Gen Z
Thank you. You even be thinking more between a man and a woman who takes this thing so serious. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
You understand? Now let me start with my gender, men. It has come to the point where men now, as if you look at this dressing of it, now it's now vice versa, Cassie. Is now like an exchange of method.
Okay.
Men now disguise themselves as that of a woman,
and women dress like,
you understand,
some boy.
Let me start with the Bible. There was a place quoted in the Bible that a woman should not wear the attire of a man.
That belongs to a man, and a man shouldn't wear that which belongs to a woman.
But nowadays we see women on trousers. But men now.
But men to tie wrapper.
That is what I'm ready to. In some cultures of the world now, it is mandatory for men. Not mandatory.
In fact, there's a man on social media, a very prominent MC. I've never seen that man on trousers.
Always
since
skirt.
I know it's not skirt, wrapper.
Okay.
He ties wrapper.
No, that one is
even on
content.
his wedding day. On his wedding day, he tied wrapper. Child dedication, he tied wrapper.
He's using that mace for him to be notified. Okay. When you see him,
that's his own signature.
That's his own signature. He might not really take it as an habit, but we are talking about the habit now. How what most men have really.
No, it's an habit. Is what he does. Like whenever you see him, he's on rapper.
In most cases, some people just take that as a notification.
Okay.
You understand? But some people, they take it as I know of it. Just as you pointed out, this content creator, there's a white man, I think in the USA.
It's a pastor that wears skirts.
Exactly. There's another pastor, even here in Nigeria. Have you seen the high heels this man put on to preach? Okay. So what are we talking about? It has really gone wild, Cassie. As in this era we find ourselves now, different things are happening in terms of dressing, in terms of clothing. I don't know if you understand. Now, leaving the aspect of skirts wearing and thereabout, looking at the rate at which guys now drag their before it was down. Happening in the Western world. We say,
but now it has come home.
It happens in the America and stuff. So as at then in the early 90s, late 90s, people criticize the Americans. Oh, see how they are dressed. A guy will just wear trouser, then instead of the trouser to cover his waist, you'll be seeing his pants and boxers. You understand? As guy, doing buga on the street. Yo man. But now, come to Nigeria, as in the way we inherited it is
we're even worse than them.
Exactly. The way we demonstrate it, and in fact, they are even learning from us. Now they are like, Nigerians they've overdone this thing.
Because this thing, you will not say responsible man.
And it's very, very well noted in schools, institutions, the university. The way institution is really too big. I'm talking about secondary school boys now. Go to the streets, you see them. Places like okay, let me mention like Lagos Island. It's very, as a matter of fact, if you don't catch that way, you don't be Lagos boy. That is just for the side of men. Now the way, as in they so do it to the extent you are like, almost like what is happening? And you'll
be feeling intimidated.
A guy will wear, as in his underwears will be shown, and the worst part, they don't even wash this underwear. That is even the worst. That is even the worst.
Harassing them on
no, let it not, because when I start with the women now, you will say, it seems you are too biased. So let me really criticize my fellow men. Now they are hearing me, they are listening to me. So let me criticize. Is that bad? Is that bad? You see boxers, not even clean, just showing.
Dirty boxers.
And the worst part, these are the kind of guys, girls fall for. I'm telling you, you dressing decent as a guy, when you try approaching a girl.
I'm an exception because I can't fall for that kind of guy.
Oh, that is you.
Do you know?
When you approach a girl as a decent guy,
let me tell you,
this one where they act like Reverend Father.
If a guy approach me, first of all, like, I don't know how I do it.
That is
but
your
if you're
personality.
wearing palms,
I'm telling you,
I'm looking at your nails to see if it's clean.
You are even
and then if you're wearing
nails.
shoe,
you're
wearing shoe, there's no way I can see if your nails is clean. But I'll just perceive your body.
But those guys now who are sagging, they call it sagging. they say, oh, those are the kind of guys. They even, you see a girl telling you that forget their looks, so inwardly they are responsible. Now those ones where they dress decent, now them they harsh, they are stingy, all kind of criticism, the
But
way they criticize.
funny
So
enough, you don't see.
that means now a guy will not be encouraged. A decent guy before will not start being encouraged to start dressing it decently because he want to catch up with what he not want to catch up with a particular set of girl thereabout. Now coming to the women, let me land.
allow you to land.
Kudos to our
So all
females
these
out
people, these men, you've given the example of how men dress. Now, with the way they dress, do they attract respect to themselves?
You can't expect a
and
guy.
do people respect them based on the way they dress?
On a normal names, you don't
cannot
expect.
see a banker dress that way.
Of course,
if a banker
because
is
at first,
dressing
as
in
a manager of a bank, I
yes,
see you like you'll be sacked. You
yes,
understand?
because you don't trust. Bank is a corporate environment.
Of course.
So if I as a customer walks into a bank and I'm seeing a customer care service dressing the way you just described, I will know that my money will not be. I cannot entrust my money
As
with
it has
such a
gone so
person.
deranged these days that even
But bankers don't dress that way.
the
They
way
dress very decent.
the way our guys perm the hair, in fact the way they
to
plait
tell
their
you
hair.
that
Even women
decency
these
is
days,
very important.
of course, even women
Because
these days don't place that kind of hair they
if
plait.
bankers can
See
dress
them
so
wear earring.
corporately, if bankers can dress responsibly, it goes to show that you as an individual dressing anyhow you don't earn respect dressing anyhow.
But they don't. The so-called JCs of this, they don't see it that way. They don't see. So if you are a banker, normally it's based on your profession. People classify it. Oh, it's based on your duty, your profession, and where you're pursuing your daily duty. That is what you have to be addressed as. So they definitely mind the way they present themselves in order probably not to get sacked. Most of those bankers you see, Cassie, I bet you immediately they leave office like this, go and check their environment and see how they disguise themselves.
Well,
even the female bankers I know, most even female nurse. I'm coming to that side of a woman, but I'm just specifying
like you
it to
really
you.
can prepare for this
Of
people
course, so
today.
yes. So when you say bankers, people mind their attitude most time because of their
Of
work
the environment.
duty and yes.
But
where they are.
sometimes environment
But
can
immediately
actually influence people.
Of course, immediately.
Positively and negatively as well.
Okay, example, living in a place like Yaba, for instance, in Lagos, where you see guys coming out, not sure, dressing to the wall, doing niggers and stuff like that. I'm talking about youths in that area because I stayed there. Or places like Sululere, all those kind of areas in Lagos where, street niggers, you see their kind of looks. So, in a place like that, you as a decent guy and probably you are just there to to start up a life, there's every probability you might want to adapt to that system, especially when you are not well taught from your upbringing. So there's every possibility.
Ojalo, let's go on a short break. When we return, we'll go back to the women because you were about talking about the women.
Course.
All right, we'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll continue from the discussion. Don't forget to engage in the comment section. Welcome back to the show, Bridging the Gap. I remain Cassie Tony, still with King Sojalo in the studio. So, King Sojalo, you are talking about the women, the way they dress.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do the way women dress earn respect? Because I really want to know how you can earn respect with the way you dress,
As a woman.
either decently or indecently, both as a woman and as a man.
You see, a woman like initially, in most culture, women in terms of dressing are known to expose themselves, to gain attraction and also to gain, especially in the time where they are due to get suitors and stuff like that, So in most of the cultures of the world, it is very common and it is very normal for a woman to at least expose a part of her body so that they can get attraction.
Suitors.
You understand? So, but in
So
so
they
many
can get suitors.
Yes, suitors
But
and
men,
attraction.
in my own ideology, in the world's ideology, according to the common saying, men don't eat uncovered food.
Yeah.
So as a woman, why will you leave part of your body open?
And that common
your breast is open, your laps everywhere is showing.
that common saying derived
that
now.
kind of appearance only
Now.
attracts a man of your kind.
Yeah, see, Cassie, even in the ancient era, even in the 18th centuries, the 17th centuries and thereabout, Now, if you look at most especially the Africa culture before the invasion of the British and the white men came and brought development, and so many religious came alongside. If you look at Africa culture as at then, this so-called covering of our body was not really a common thing. As a matter of fact, that was even where women tend to expose their nudity, their self. There was a total exposure of, example, like in the South Africa, in the Zulu culture. You understand? You go to places like, as at then, they were known as Zulu, Kazwahili, and thereabout. If you look at their lifestyle as at then, women exposed, even till now, there are some events they tend to do. They come out, example, when a girl
Like there's
tends
a
to,
carnival.
yes, a carnival where a girl tends to get a certificate of being a virgin. She find a suitor. So they come out, with their body exposed, just to nullify to everyone that, look, oh, I am a virgin.
And that
So
one
now,
is
look,
culture. That's culture.
that is what I'm
now
saying.
We're talking about indecent dressing. How do you
No,
earn
that
respect
I'm
from
coming.
it?
I'm coming. Now in this regard, why I had to really go back then, when it is because you said, men don't eat or cover food. Because as at then, when women tend to expose their body, it doesn't really trigger men to do the uncalled for. You know what I mean? Nowadays, where a girl will just show her lap only.
Before you know, the man is already thinking of
In fact,
another
he
thing.
has gone
He
up
has
wide.
crossed country.
You understand? And there's every probability that girl might be assaulted or abused in one way or the other in this era. So you can see, as at then, even when women expose themselves, there is no this inner shift for a man to be so triggered by the appearance of her body and thereabout. But in this era, sometimes I made my research. I was like, is it due to the kind of clothes, attire, and a kind of design that are being brought into light that makes, a woman's body try to trigger men of this era? Most times I ask myself, and the way women are really taking it far beyond, it's something else. Most of these women of this era, they purposely do these things, just to trigger men. I was in Lagos one time in a chemist where a woman really opened up. There's this particular drug they usually take. I've forgotten the name, that makes their hip so big. She said, give me this drug, I want to kill all of them, I want to finish them. You understand? So that is to tell you that women who dress indecently, they really
know
they
exactly.
they do
They
it
have
genuinely.
an
Yes, they
agenda.
do. It's not, they know. See, I can bet you 99% of women of this era know what indecent dress is. They know when they do it, they know that, oh, look, what I am wearing on is not good, but I just want to do it. I want to gain attraction. Women who dress indecently nowadays, they are actually doing it to get it's all about being attracted. They want,
But they will not earn respect from that, because nobody will want.
Of course,
They will not take you
they
seriously.
don't need. They don't.
They won't
See,
take you
these
as
women
a serious-minded
This,
person.
but I bet you most men value those kind of women even more than those who are decent. I know what I'm
That's why
saying,
I said,
because I've had a guy.
You attract your kind.
Apart from attracting your kind, I've seen decent men who go for such girls. I've had a guy told me, there was a guy who told me that, look, all these girls that wear all this kind of, I don't, it doesn't move me. It's those girls who shows them, he even made mention of him going to a this strippers club. That is even the best place he will even go when he tends to get married. So what am I trying to say? When you said they don't get respect, I bet you there are majority of men of this era even prefer such ladies. Now, I'm not saying this to encourage indecent dressing, but I'm saying this because of the level at which this thing has gone so huge that it's uncontrollable nowadays. Because nowadays, majority of women we have in our society can't cope without exposing themselves. I know what I'm saying. Dressing, when a woman tends to cover up, dress decently, is probably when she's going for a church service. Even most of our churches these days, they accept, a woman dressing
that's
decently.
not true. That's not true, because
no,
I'm an example.
Of course.
I don't dress. I dress the way I want to be
That is your
addressed.
personality. We are talking
So
about
no,
personality.
you're talking about the only way they dress is because they want to go to church. It's not everybody.
That is why I also
Let's
said,
say out
in
of
most church these
100%,
days, most of
out
the
of
women dress
100%,
indecently.
Out of 100%,
Yes.
65 or 75% are this kind of people, whilst the other person are the decent one. I am among the decent
Yeah,
girls.
no, you
I don't
classify
dress.
yourself.
No,
But God knows when you leave this place now,
when
how
I
you
leave,
take your look.
no, I am addressed the way
Okay.
I dress the way I want to be addressed, because I love to be respected.
Now let me land.
So I dress the same way I want. I respect myself through
Okay,
my
Cassie, let
dressing.
me land. Let me land. You see, let me really brief you on or summarize what I'm trying to say in that aspect. When I said women, tend to dress decently when they you go to church because they know how embarrassing it would be probably when they are pastors or maybe they are mommy G or whatever see them that way. But I bet you immediately leave that environment it turns out to be another case. Now, in terms of indecent dressing in the life of women are taking it to the extent that they can't control themselves. I've even seen a married woman making sure her body is being exposed, not just to attract her husband alone, but to get there's this mindset of women that if they are not attracted to the public, if they don't get if people don't especially when they pass, if they are not being example, a woman is working and she's not being looked by maybe 2 to 3 men, it's like they are not inwardly satisfied. So it is now a daily duty on them to make sure that a body part of them must be exposed just to get attraction. And again, the fault still lies on these so-called fashion designers, clothes industries and thereabout, because they are even
They are
prolonging
not
this
even
issue.
helping
They are not
matters.
even exactly. They are not even helping matters. Cassie, those days, okay, fine. When initially, I don't even like. I'm not even in support of women wearing trousers. Where I was brought up and in my family, all my sisters, because I'm the only son in my family, and all my siblings are girls. So the way they dress decently, in terms of putting on skirts or probably the one wearing wrapper will wear wrapper. Now, looking at the level of trousers women put on these days, you will see a woman wearing a so-called, you won't even know that she's putting on something. If you don't observe very well, you see the tightness on her private area that will give every details of her, of her beneath herself. So what am I trying to say? It is a thing of and from the look of things, I know this aspect will definitely turn worse. Probably 10 to 15 years from now. As a matter of fact, I believe by then, maybe 15 years from now, in fact, this trouser of a thing will become totally underwear. And maybe probably as at then, women will start carrying as a normal thing, which is even happening. Go on social media. You see girls, look at their level, look at how they expose themselves. Is it nudity? Is it making sure that they get exposed? What they can't do physically, but they make sure, just to get attraction, just to, they feel, I think is in the gene of a woman that, look, if I don't expose myself, you understand, I will not be attracted. I will not get suitors. I will not be called upon. You are talking about them not getting respect. I think girls in those categories they are not even looking for respect. When someone is in need of respect, are those who position themselves, dress decently. You understand? Those are the kind of people, as in, I bet you when you dress it decently and go for an event, or you men respect you. This level of hey, how far fine girl, show now where you dey. You can't
Yeah,
you understand?
cannot.
A girl that is decently dressed will never get such recommendation.
Exactly.
You understand? But those who expose themselves, and they feel, this, hey, show now, how far fine girl, mo see now. They feel, to them, yes, is like a kudos. You get what I'm saying? So to you who dress decently, you get admirers from far. Yeah, and in the heart of a man, I'm telling you, I'm a guy and I know what I'm saying.
I've experienced it
Men,
before.
men know what they know.
I've
They know.
experienced it
They know what
severally.
is right. So
These two
if you are,
sides,
if
I've
you are a
experienced
lady
the two
who
sides.
dress indecently, and this, and you see, 10 guys, 15 guys call you,
Just know
at
that there's
one.
a clause.
No, apart from being there's a clause, to them, to those girls, they are on the top. They are
Yes.
hot, yes.
Gen Z body.
But those guys know what they are doing. They just want to get something, because you are actually giving them, a clue of what
Yes.
you have
And that was why
that
I
they
said
need.
that those people attract
But
their kind.
a lady who dressed decently, you understand, she get that respect inwardly. Guys are even scared of, you understand,
Talking to them.
talking to them. They are afraid of approaching them. It takes a guy who is so courageous,
Yes.
to approach such example. When you go to the bank right now, you see majority of our female bankers, they dress decently.
Decently.
You understand? So it takes a
And these
courageous,
things that you just
sensible
said,
guy to approach such lady.
this thing that you just said, I could recall there was a time that I wore bomb shorts on my street.
Thank you for
and I was
confessing,
getting a lot of
Thank you for
attention.
confessing,
I was getting
bomb
a lot
shorts.
of a lot of all those
Oh,
admirers.
so what am I
And
saying?
then there's this other guy in my church.
Mm.
I dress when I go to church. I usually dress like Mommy Gio. God, you don't want to
Oh,
see me.
okay. I stated that just now.
You don't want to see me. Even at home, sometimes I dress very decently. But this guy has been liking me for a very long time. I think it was like 2 years that he's been liking me. But when
Admire
he
you.
finally got the courage to talk
Courage.
to me, he
Exactly.
said that he saw me as like I'm a big man's wife. Then he felt so intimidated to talk to me. But it was when he started talking to me that I was like, I didn't know you're this calm. That's looking at you from afar. You are looking so intimidated. And I was like, why? He said, because the way you always dress, you dress like a big man's wife. You're this, you're
In the
that.
church, oh.
I'm telling you. I was like, wow, so I can actually dress this way and I earn my respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Then dressing the other. So I just picked, okay, see, I love respect and I want to be respected. So
So-
I had to go back to dressing as the way I want to be addressed.
Exactly. So to summarize this whole thing, Cassie, there is no way a lady or a guy dress indecently and get that inner respect from individuals, from people around them, be it your family members, be it your parents. You dress indecently, people might be hailing you, but you see, they're actually pushing you to dangers. And this has caused so many discrimination in our society today in case of abuse, rape, and it's even one of the major cause of rape situation that has been increasing in our society today. Most people don't know, you understand? When a robber goes into a conference hall, for example, the first set of girls, when they have the intention to rape any lady, the first set of girls, an armed robber or someone who is engaged in criminal activities, will tend to release that act on, is a girl who is dressed indecently. You understand? That is just the fact.
Let's round up for this.
That is just the fact. So to round up, it's very simple. Look, audience out there, it's very simple. You should know what it takes to present yourself properly to the public so that you'll be well classified in good category. Now, what do I mean is this? You understand? Especially for our females out there, for our ladies, and even mothers, who engage in this act, dressing it indecently. It doesn't tell well of you. Okay, that is why in most countries, most especially in the Middle East, is so prohibited that you might even be hurt in the process. Even in some parts of the north, like places like Kano, you dress it decently or Gombe, you'll be highly discriminated. So to cut the story short, for our women in places like the south and some part of the southwest like Lagos, because those areas, most especially here in Rivers State, in Delta, and most especially Lagos State, you see the rate at which women dress indecently. Look, it doesn't tell well of you. Okay, anybody trying to portray you to be hot, or they are just deceiving you. So the best advice I'll give to most especially women is to keep yourself, because a real man will never go for any woman who exposes herself to the public. You understand? Because they feel inside that, look, okay, you might not really be what they think you are, because most people see it as a normal way of life, but the inside of them, they don't go into prostitution, they don't go into this act of sleeping with different men. But that way of portraying yourself indecently will definitely make you disqualified, even when suitors tend to come your way.
All right. So for you, you agree with me that you are addressed the way you dress.
Exactly.
We've come to the end of this segment, Bridging the Gap. Thank you so much, Ojalo. It's
Cassie,
always a pleasure doing this with
in
you.
fact, it's my pleasure always being here.
And to your amazing viewers, many thanks for watching. And do well to engage on the comment section. I want to know your own opinion. I want you to tell us how you feel, what you feel about being dressed the way you want to be addressed. Till I come your way again, many thanks for watching. Do engage on this station, and it is a bye for now.